Hello everyone, my name is Valerie. I am the Erstwhile Homeschooler. Fun fact about the word erstwhile. I'm thinking about making that the title of this channel maybe at some point in the future. Tell me what you think about that. The Erstwhile Homeschooler. The fun fact about the word is that I first heard that word the last couple of years. I was watching a Murder, She Wrote because nostalgia. It was a show that came on when I was a kid, and it just brings back a lot of fun, happy, comfortable memories for me. It's a very soothing program to have playing in the background while you're doing other things. But anyway, I was watching an episode, and like everyone else in the world, I always have my cell phone handy. And in the episode, they said, "Oh, the erstwhile news anchor." They were talking to someone, and he said, "Erstwhile?" And I'm like, "Erstwhile? What does that even mean?" So I picked up my phone, and there it was. I Googled it, and it means former, past, no longer. So that seemed to fit. I had imagined myself being a homeschooling mom forever, and so this whole turn of events took me by surprise. It kind of happened gradually, but yet then there also came a time when we had to say, yes, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take this path. And that was a very shocking moment for me. Thinking about it was one thing and actually doing it was another. And then came the decision for me to go to college, which again is something that I've wanted to do for years and didn't think it would be possible. So when I actually did it, like applied and got accepted and found out I could afford it, and all these other things just kept falling into place, it was shocking. So I wanted to give a few pro tips for newbies. I don't know what it's like to go from public school to college because I myself went to a private Christian school, and then I homeschooled for the last part of my high school career. And then I've always homeschooled my children. They're about to enter public school. If you've been watching my channel, you know that. And so we're going to have a whole lot of new things to learn and experience when we take that step, when we actually start. But until then, I don't have that experience, and so all of this is new. So if you're a homeschooler going into college, maybe these things will be helpful to you as well. First of all, in my history class, I took my first big history exam, and there were 25 multiple choice questions, and then we had to write an essay in a blue book, which I'd heard of blue books, probably from television, but I had heard of those, so I kind of knew what to imagine for that when he told us we would need that. But he also said we would need a Scantron. And I had no idea what a Scantron was. I had to raise my hand and ask, and he sort of described it, but I still was kind of like, okay, I hope I can figure this out. So I went to our college bookstore, and they're very helpful and sweet there. And I told the lady I need a Scantron, and she pointed me right to them, and it's a package of these. You can see kind of what it is. So this is the side of it. You write your name and date and subject, I guess. He didn't tell us to write any of those things, so I just wrote my name and date. But anyway, then it has these bubbles that you fill in, or these little lines. These. So you can see the instructions right here. You just make a little line through it. And he said we had to use a pencil for this. And then it runs through a machine, which grades it very rapidly. And this one has up to 100 questions on it. We only needed 25. But there you go. It was very simple. I got a package of 6 of these, which will last me the entire summer because we only need the 3 of them, for $1.65, I think. And then my blue book, I bought the larger size. I don't have it to show you, and I only bought one, which was stupid because I'm going to need to have more. So I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, so I bought one blue book. They have a large size and a smaller size, and I bought the large size, which I was glad I did. That worked out well. I practiced that essay probably, 6 or 7 times over the weekend. He allowed us to send a rough draft or, send a sample of it to him to look over. So I did that. I sent it to him on Friday night, and Sunday afternoon, I believe he wrote back and said, this is good, you need to add a couple of these details, and he told me which areas were lacking, and so I was able to incorporate those into my essay. So I feel pretty good about the essay, and I feel pretty good about the other portion, the multiple choice, although, you never know. I also got my first quiz back, and I did miss one question, and it was the very question that haunted me the whole weekend because I thought, I don't think I got that one right. And sure enough, I didn't. And I thought, there's got to be a mistake. I was pretty sure that all of the answers were correct. In other words, it was supposed to be like circle the one except, so all of these things are true except one of them is not true. Find the one that's not true. Well, they all look true to me. And I was just struggling with it all weekend. I was in agony. And when I got the actual quiz back, I saw I had misread the question. Or the answer that I thought all of them said one thing, but one of them was worded in a way that it was not true, so I should have circled it. Anyway, I'm sure that's confusing, but all that to say, at least I have my first quiz under my belt, my first exam under my belt. I have submitted my first essay, which was a narrative essay. I wrote about the time my best friend and I, when we were 15, spent the night in a room with faulty ventilation, and we both got carbon monoxide poisoning. I worked on that a lot. We had to submit the essay to our professor, and then he distributed them to each of us students, and we graded one another's essays, not graded, but checked them over, edited them. And then if we wanted to make changes to it based on what our peers' feedback said, then we could, and then we submitted the final one to the professor to be graded. I made a 95 on that. He said it was well written. He didn't give me any corrections to make, so I'm taking the 95 and I'm really happy with it. The next essay we're writing is a comparison and contrast. Now, I may have written one of those when I was in 6th grade. I don't remember, maybe 10th grade. I don't know, sometime in my way back high school life, I might have written one, but I certainly haven't written one in recent years, and so I sort of blanked on what I was supposed to do, like how is this supposed to be organized? Since we're not meeting for this class in person, I couldn't ask questions or, get any kind of guidance in person. So I sent an email and said, I'm confused about what you want. Could I read some examples? Could you send me a link to one or something? Instead, he said, hey, just send me your rough draft and I'll let you know if you're on the right track. So I did that. And he said, hey, for someone who doesn't think you know what you're doing, this looks pretty good to me. So I was happy to hear that because I was going to have to start from scratch if it wasn't at all correct. So I've sent that to him to be sent off to my peers to be graded. We'll see what I get on this one, but I feel good that it's there. It's just waiting some final touch-ups hopefully, and then I can submit that. And at that point, I will be halfway through the English Comp 1 course because it's an 8-week course, and there are 4 essays that we are expected to write. So I'll be halfway done. That feels really good to think of it that way. And then next week, I'll be starting my 4th week of history, and at the end of that week, that class will be halfway over. One more thing I want to say in reference to my English class. I bought the Mla Handbook, the most recent revision or edition of that, and I bought this before I started because I thought, I'm going to need that. That's going to be very helpful. Well, turns out you can get all of this information for free from Purdue University on their website. It's called the Online Writing Lab, OWL or OWL, and everything is there. It's very easy to access. I found this has not been that helpful, kind of a waste of money. Everything was easier to get online than to search for in this book. So if you are going to be using the MLA guidelines, just go online. I don't think you have to be part of a university. I think it's free for everybody, but even if you do, I'm sure whatever college you're in, it probably has an online access to that website. So that was helpful. I spent most of my time for this essay trying to figure out how to set my Microsoft Word settings to give me hanging indents on my works cited page. I was trying to figure out how to do the heading where you have your last name and the page number. So I probably spent 45 minutes just trying to figure out how to use Microsoft Word and get it to do what I needed it to do. So now I feel really good having that figured out. So next time my paper writing should go quicker because I don't have to learn all of that. Again, as I've said in previous update videos, that's the part that's the most stressful about college is in the summer is how fast-paced everything is. I sometimes wonder if I did make a mistake in starting in the summer, but then I think, no, I really have a purpose in mind. I really want to get that degree so that I can get a job and be a blessing to my family and use my time in a way that's constructive for the Lord and as well as economically for our finances. So I have a purpose in mind, so I'm glad I went ahead and just dove in. Obviously, there are no orientation classes in the summer. So a lot of these things that I probably would have learned about in an orientation class, I'm having to figure out on my own. Also, like finding my way around campus, I'm on my own with that. There's no tour guides right now that can take me around and show me the lay of the land. I am somewhat familiar with the campus since it is a local university. I have been there for other things before. I haven't actually had to make my way around and find the offices and things like that. So that's been, it's all new. So maybe it would have been better to wait from that point of view. I wouldn't have felt so overwhelmed with the newness of it all. But, I've done it. So now when I do start in the fall and I do have more classes in the fall, obviously, than I'm taking in the summer. And so it will feel good to have some things already established by that point. So as far as scheduling, I had expected to need some sort of planner, and I may, when I start in the fall and have more classes, I may feel the need to really write things down on a calendar and visualize them better. But as of right now, I've been doing really well with just using my phone Todoist app that I use on there. When I have something due, anytime I have homework to do or a paper to submit, I set myself a reminder on my Todoist app. I see it first thing in the morning and I know, okay, that's my priority today, is to get that essay submitted or to study for this quiz coming up or whatever. So it's worked really well. As to whether I'm going to do that in the fall is still undetermined. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're doing well. Thanks to those of you who have been commenting on my homeschool videos. I do hope to do some more of those. And even though I am now not homeschooling currently, and I'm in college and on a different path, I still love homeschoolers and homeschooling. There are so many benefits and advantages to it, and so many things I'm going to miss about it. But I do have 16 years of experience, so I'd love to help you. If you have a question about homeschooling, about curriculum, scheduling, organizing, whatever, please leave me a comment below, and I will try to get back to you and maybe be a help. Thanks again for watching. If you haven't done so, I'd love it if you'd subscribe. Please like, comment. I'd love to hear from you. Have a great day.